In a small village nestled by rolling hills, there lived a man named Samuel. He was 68, with silver hair and a pair of glasses perched delicately on his nose. His life had been full of stories of travel, stories of work, stories of raising children, and stories of love. But as the years passed, his world had become smaller, confined mostly to his home. A house that had once echoed with laughter and chatter but now felt eerily quiet. Samuel's wife, Mary, had passed away 5 years ago. They had been married for over 40 years, their bond a testament to the love and patience they had for each other. But with her departure, something inside him seemed to break. The house, once full of warmth, now felt like a cold shell. His children had moved away, started families of their own, and visits became less frequent. It was not that Samuel was lonely, he had lived alone before, even when Mary was alive. But the silence that now filled the house was a different kind of loneliness. One that seeped into the corners of his mind. His days were simple. He spent mornings in the garden, tending to the flowers that Mary had loved so much. She had always been the gardener, her hands gentle but firm as she cultivated the roses, lilies, and daffodils that bloomed in vibrant colors. Samuel had never been particularly fond of gardening, but he did it for her. And now, it was the only way to keep her memory alive. One morning, as Samuel was pruning the rosebushes, his neighbor, Mrs. Thompson, came over with a basket of fresh bread. She was in her early 70s, with a warm smile and a soft laugh that could brighten even the darkest days. "Samuel," she said, "you've been at it again. I see. Those roses will be the talk of the village, just like Mary's were." Samuel smiled, though the sadness in his eyes was hard to hide. "It's the only way I know how to keep her with me," he replied softly. Mrs. Thompson placed the basket on the garden table and sat beside him. "You know," she said thoughtfully, "I lost my husband, Frank, 10 years ago, and for a long time, I didn't know how to fill the space he left behind. But then one day, I realized that he wasn't really gone. He lives on in the stories we tell, the memories we keep, and the love we continue to share." Samuel nodded, though he wasn't sure if he could believe her. "It's hard, you know. Sometimes I wonder if I'm just holding on to ghosts." Mrs. Thompson chuckled. "Oh, Samuel, you're not alone in that. But the ghosts are good company, aren't they? They remind us of what we've had and what we've built. And, sometimes, they even help us find new paths to follow." Samuel looked down at the roses, the petals soft and delicate. He had tended to these flowers for years. But somehow, today, they seemed to carry a different meaning. Perhaps Mrs. Thompson was right. Perhaps there was something in the memories that could help him move forward. Blank. Blank. As the weeks passed, Samuel found himself spending more time with his neighbors, Mrs. Thompson, the Johnsons down the road, and even the children who occasionally came over to help him with small tasks. The village was small, but the community was tight-knit. People cared for each other. And slowly, Samuel began to feel the weight of his solitude lifting. The more he shared his memories, the more he realized how much he still had to offer. One evening, as Samuel sat on his porch watching the sunset, his daughter, Emily, called. She lived in the city with her husband and 2 children, and though she called often, it had been a while since she had visited. "Hi, Dad," she said warmly. "How are you?" "I'm good, Em, just sitting here, watching the sunset. You know how much I love this time of day." "I know," Emily laughed. "It's beautiful, isn't it? Listen, I've been thinking, it's been too long since we've seen each other. How about we come down for a weekend visit? I think the kids would love to spend some time with you." Samuel felt a surge of happiness. "I'd love that. I'll make sure the house is ready for you." Blank. The weekend arrived, and with it, Emily and her family. Samuel's house, though modest, was filled with the laughter of his grandchildren as they played in the garden. He found himself telling them stories of his own childhood, of the adventures he had with Mary, and of the lessons he had learned over the years. The more he spoke, the more he realized that, in sharing his stories, he was not only keeping Mary's memory alive but also passing on a legacy of love, kindness, and resilience. One afternoon, as Samuel sat with his grandchildren on the porch, his youngest granddaughter, Lily, asked, "Grandpa, what's your favorite memory?" Samuel smiled. "Well, Lily, my favorite memory is a bit of a funny one. It was the first time I tried to cook a meal for your grandmother. I thought I could make her favorite dish, a roast chicken with potatoes and vegetables. But instead of a perfectly roasted chicken, I ended up with something that could only be described as, well, burnt offerings." He chuckled at the memory. But Mary, she was always so kind. She didn't laugh at me. Instead, she said, well, it's the thought that counts. And from that day on, I always made sure to leave the cooking to her. Lily giggled. I bet Grandma never let you cook again. Samuel laughed softly. Oh, no, she let me cook, but only if it was something simple, like scrambled eggs or toast. But I think that was the moment I truly understood what love was. It wasn't in the grand gestures, but in the small, everyday acts of kindness and patience. As the days passed, Samuel felt a sense of peace he hadn't experienced in years. He realized that life, even in its later years, still had much to offer. There were still stories to tell, lessons to teach, and love to give. Blank. One afternoon, as Samuel walked through the village with Mrs. Thompson, they passed the old oak tree where Samuel and Mary had once sat, watching the sunset together. The tree was still there, its branches sprawling wide, a symbol of strength and endurance. Samuel stopped and touched the rough bark, a wave of nostalgia washing over him. Mary always said that this tree was like our love, he said quietly. Strong, unshakable. Mrs. Thompson smiled. And just like that tree, Samuel, your love for Mary is still growing. Still strong. It's not gone. Just like Frank's love for me isn't gone. It's in everything around you, the garden, the stories, the laughter of your grandchildren. It lives on. Samuel nodded, his heart full. I think I finally understand, he said. I've been holding on to the past for so long, thinking that it was the only thing that mattered. But the truth is, the past is just a part of the story. The present, the love we share now, that's what truly matters. And as Samuel looked up at the sky, watching the sun dip below the horizon, he felt a sense of peace. The garden, the oak tree, the village, all of it was a reminder that life, no matter how many years it had passed, was still full of love, beauty, and purpose. And as long as he continued to share those stories, those memories, he would never truly be alone.